Good afternoon, and thank you for attending the Science Cafe. My name is Huifeng Cheng. I'm the coordinator of Science Cafe OSU. Science Cafe OSU is a monthly event that highlights current, interesting, and relevant science research of OSU scientists and scholars. The events are an opportunity to participate in lively and engaging conversations about science. Before introducing today's speaker, I would like to thank the OSU Libraries and the Office of Vice President for Research for their support of Science Cafe, and our program partners, the Cowboy Energy Club and the Institute of Industrial and System Engineers chapter. Today, we are pleased to have Dr. Hitesh Vora as our speaker. Dr. Hitesh Vora is an associate professor in mechanical engineering technology. He received his PhD in material sciences engineering from University of North Texas. Dr. Vora's research focuses on advanced manufacturing and energy management to improve energy efficiency for small to medium-sized manufacturers. Dr. Vora is the director of the OSU Industrial Assessment Center. The center has received a 4-year funding of $1.75 million from the U.S. Department of Energy. Dr. Vora is going to speak about the work of the Industrial Assessment Center and its contribution to the OSU land-grant mission. During the presentation, please feel free to post any questions you may have for our speaker in the comments, and Dr. Vora will answer them after the talk. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Vora.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Cheng, for introduction. Thank you, Science Cafe, for having me opportunity to talk about what we do in our projects. So today, I create some slides to go through this and try to provide some outlook, what we do and how we serve community and how this help to bring the economy in our states. Today I'm talking about bringing energy conservation and management to you. I think this is moreover industrial project where we work with the manufacturing companies and help them. However, some of these tips and some of the ideas which we develop can be used for any household, in any home, any residential place or anything in that nature can be saved, like in a school, hospital. You can apply this knowledge and try to saving energy in that sense. So, as Dr. Cheng said, I'm Hitesh Vora. I'm from Mechanical Engineering Technology, and I'm morely talk about Industrial Assessment Center here. If you just look at the statistics, how we consume energy, especially the electricity point of view, worldwide, you will see our energy growth changing from 1960 to all the way to 2018. You will see is like a steep increase. Along with that, if you see the countrywide consumption, if you see from last this many years, I think this is like 2019 data, you will see China is number 1 right now and the US is number 2. And if you see the rest of the countries are like very small compared to these two giant nations. Within the US, if you see the consumption from 1998 to 2020, you will see is pretty much steady continuation of flow. There is a little bit of hitch in 2020, but you know why? Because it's the COVID time where our energy consumption is a little bit less than previous year, but again, is constantly going on. Within that, if you see different sectors, sector related to residential, commercial, industrial, and transportation or electric power, I think I'm focusing more over on the gray area, is constantly going on because that's where our manufacturing comes. Within the industrial sector, if I notice the United States sector in that sense is basically growing. I think the industrial is moreover lesser than little bit commercial and resident, but industrial sometime is overlap between commercial and industrial both together. I think that's more larger than the residential sector, and that's where our project helps. Within that industrial sector, we have 77% of the electricity goes to the manufacturing firms, and that's where Department of Energy comes into play and looking at it like how we can go and help the manufacturer to reduce energy consumption little lesser than what we have right now. So manufacturing actually covers large part of it. Again, 77% is a big number there. If you even save small part of energy, still change the portfolio for bigger things, right? So more bang for the buck. If you save through higher efficiency methods, some systems, maybe the new machineries, technologies can help reduce that 77% there. So what we do? So OSU Industrial Assessment Center is basically funded by Department of Energy. We help small and medium-sized manufacturing companies, and I'm stressing one more time, is only apply for small and medium-sized manufacturing companies to save energy, improve productivity, and reduce waste. And the other hand, which is a very important hand, why this project is in OSU, is basically to providing the students a knowledge about this. So basically, by providing no-cost technical assessment, we conduct through this team, which is a team based on engineering students as well as the faculties. And the main output of this is basically students and the faculty who actually has hands-on service learning kind of a projects with the companies. So if you ask me, okay, I want to visit your lab, I say, I don't have a lab. Maybe you have to come with me and come to the companies to see where it is there, right? So you actually visit the plant and find energy opportunities to do that. So what do we cover? Very first thing I will say, we are in an idea business. We give them ideas, we give them opportunities, we give them a new way of thinking where maybe you have opportunity to save energy. I know every single manufacturing companies, they feel pride about what they manufacture. They don't want to hear from outsiders saying how you will even tell me that this is the best way to manufacture. We are not competing with them in that sense. We actually feel pride that what they manufacture and bringing the economy and workforce, actually that's better. We have no idea how even make better than that. However, the tools or the equipment used for that manufacturing, maybe we can help them evaluate in numerical number point of view, not just qualitatively, to figure it out, is it any other way of manufacturing this using a less electricity and have a larger production in that sense. So we help them to evaluate some electricity courses. They are learning from the textbook, but they have never saw an actual plant. So this project actually brings that idea, like where students actually going, make their work-based understanding, so make their hand dirty in the plant and see how that applied. I think that brings that unbiased evaluation and the knowledge base to the students. We also helps companies not only providing this idea, but we also link them with other resources like rebates, some grants available, or even a loans they can apply for to implement what the suggestion we made. So we also make sure they are not just reading my report, but also I want them to apply that report to the actual implementation side of it. So our goal is to actually help them to reduce 10% of electricity bill, and then whatever the suggestion we made, we want them to implement at least 50% of them, so that they will start saving the energy there. Energy efficiency and cost saving is basically, I'm focusing here on energy audit. This word audit is very odd. Sometimes audit looks like I'm in police, I'm going there and I punish you or I give you a citation if you don't do anything, but we are not that way. If words audit or the assessment is the same, both the terminology is same, we are actually helping them to assess them and figure it out where this energy balance is going, where the energy is consumed within the plant. So basically the energy audit is a method used by industries where the professional team like us goes there and inspect and analyze how the energy is flowing inside the plant, inside the building. Basically this is not easy task. I think we spend lots of time with the students to give them first of all the training, some courses, and they go through that and figure it out what is energy saving, and then we take them to the site and see how they are applying their knowledge there. So this is determined by best course of action. It's not a cookie cutter. Every single plant is unique. Every single plant, the solution is unique. So we have to prepare or challenge ourselves to apply whatever we know. So in our mind, we might have an encyclopedia of all the energy conservation methods, but we might only use which is available in that plant. So our students also feel pride about that, which they knows about every single system, but in the company may be a unique solution for that. So it also includes various from reducing the amount of energy input, energy cost, carbon footprint, in that sense. So all it's done is without affecting the output efficiency of the industry. So when we go for audit or any assessment, the plant, we don't want to shut down any of the operation. We don't disturb their production. We don't even try to change some of the stuff also. We just monitoring them. So our process is basically data collection like energy bills, data analytics of the bills, 50 minutes interval data, figure it out how the energy is consumed throughout the day or maybe a season or maybe whole year, and see what's the trend going on. We also do on-site visits, so we actually inspect some of the stuff on the site. Like you can see from this picture, my students are actually doing a consumption analysis of the boiler. And they will figure it out how is boiler is mostly efficient or not, what's the oxygen content there, and figuring out is there any issues there. So this is one of the example. We also analyze the information we collect, and then we create a report, which is basically your energy saving plans. This is how it goes as a whole package. This whole process might take maybe like 6 months or a year to complete every single thing which you are mentioned in a one slide. Why we really need urgent need for energy is basically reason why we need is basically improve energy efficiency, reduce energy cost, reduce environmental damage and pollution, increase safety and efficiency of the workplace, and at the end, brand is also a matter. I think we visited many plants where they really want that brand to be coming out, that this company actually maintaining the green side of it. So the bottom line here is energy audit is very important for industries today, and actually Department of Energy is paying very much attention to this and funding this from 1980s. So basically this is like very much important for any industry we go. So in OSU we have 2 centers, and one of the center is Industrial Assessment Center, the another center is Rural Energy Assessment Center. Industrial Assessment Center is funded by Department of Energy. And is basically moreover applying to the small and medium-sized manufacturing companies, and the territory is in the 4 states like Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and North Texas. So sometimes we go visit them. Sometimes the driving time is almost 5 hours. Sometimes we just like overnight and then go early morning, visit, and then again sleep in the motel, start driving the next day. Other grant, which is from US Department of Agriculture, is mostly for a smaller rural business related to some agricultural product or rural areas. You know, in Oklahoma, 85% of the state is rural. Like many places you go, you may not even find all the resources available in the big cities. So they are a little bit unprivileged, underrepresented. So that's the reason USDA is providing us money to help that particular manufacturer and see how they can improve their efficiency there. So again, I'm trying my best to apply any single funding opportunities available so that I can serve more and more people and providing them services from our college through the centers to help them to energy efficiency first of all, then energy costs, reduce the money for manufacturer. And again, the very important thing energy saving is you earn the profit before you filing the taxes, right? You are not need to sell it. You actually, before sell, you have a profit in your hand. So it's basically double the price of profit. Now I'm going back to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State University is basically a land-grant university. If you know Morris Act 1890, this is how the Oklahoma State University is formed. It actually combines the 3 important pillars. So one of the pillars is like instruction, research, and extension. You will see the emblem of OSU. You will see that triangle is actually connecting 3 of these things. And why I'm showing this slide is basically this is exactly same work we do through our grant. We are actually connecting these 3 dots. So the objective of OSU, as you know, that we are actually helping to create a workforce. So we are actually playing and developing a role in getting the energy engineers who will actually benefit in the community. So workforce development side of it. Secondly, we are helping the clients, basically it's economical development side. So basically teaching, research, and service in these 3 sense, I think we are fulfilling the land grant university mission for our states. Recently, in June 26, we got new grant for next 5 years. We got $1.75 million to help and continue what we're doing. So if you see from this plot, you see like there are lots of other ISAs throughout the US. We are just in the Middle West. I think we'll say like mid-center part of the OS on the US is OSU. The Secretary of Energy actually announced this on July 26 that we got award for this, so we are very proud of this. Nationally, there are 32 ISCs like us, and we serve in these 4 states, which is Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and part of North Texas. We have affiliation university. Our partner is in Wichita State University, and sometimes we actually do the joint assessment. If anything near to Kansas or Arkansas, they can come and help us in many of these assessments. Now coming back to our mission, I think you already have the idea, but this is like a final kind of a slide where we can show that we are giving the no-cost energy assessment to the clients free of cost. So basically that's the service we are providing them. So if some companies are struggling, we are not asking them money. We are actually go there and help without charging anything to them and survive them. We have lots of incidents where companies are about to get bankrupt, but we found a way to come out of it and then start employing more people and start doing the production as well. Second side of it is like we are educating and training next generation of energy engineers. Again, we don't have energy engineering program as such, but in College of Engineering, we have different majors of engineering, like a chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, industrial engineering, electrical engineering. We hire any of this, and then not only they earn the regular major, but they also have additionally they know energy engineering side of it. And that's basically the main side of it. Like now, mechanical engineering, working in the company or any plant, they don't only just perform their tasks as a mechanical engineer, but they also knows how my plants runs. Is there any opportunities available, or is there any opportunity to procure a new equipment? Do I have to buy something which is more energy efficient? Like they pay attention to all of these things. It's a philosophy going along with that major. Not only the College of Engineering students we hire, we also hire people from marketing department. We hire students from business schools, business analytics students, in different major streams, because they are also very helpful, creating whole network. Sometimes if I don't say about my grant, if I don't market about this project, even the client doesn't know that there is a resources available. So it's very important, is basically like an all-rounder nature of this grant that connect all the major of the students. So basically in OSU is a very nice culturally that way. I hire a student from random major, like even from English department, to write my nice manual, to figure it out. My marketing materials look good. Marketing department, the website people, even the people from TV and media, which actually create a small videos and post on Facebook and LinkedIn to show how this project is impact. So that's basically a true nature of this grant, which goes into the core and provide a student with this energy education side of it. Maybe the marketing guy doesn't know about energy engineers, but after making that flyer, click that idea saying, yes, I should be going for this kind of ideas, and then go further for that. So as I said earlier, we focus on all energy aspect. Sometimes energy people just connect with electricity, but it's not that. It can be electricity, natural gas, propane, water, solid waste, productivity. Even nowadays, cybersecurity is a big issue. Even the safety related issues. We at least help them, or if we don't help them, we provide the resources for them to figure it out how to come out of it. Now I'm coming back to the slide of this milestone through the Industrial Assessment Center. Again, I'm not even born 1979, but this center was there. So I'm a third generation director of leading this particular mission from 3 or 4 decades onward. We've done more than 1,000 audits, and so far we save more than $325 million, which is a huge number. If you just say like this grant is the only grant which is funded every single 5 years from 1979. And I think the OSU also knows about it. It's very much like popular program throughout this mission. Second thing is like every 5 years getting that grant is also not easy. It's not that we are privileged to get that grant. Every year, 5 years, we need to show the numbers, we show the savings, we need to show which client we use, and then on that basis of merit, we get the newer 5 years. Again, is a real competition. People from everywhere apply for this grant, and is competition basically peer review competition where actually you get it funded there. I think OU is applying from every single 5 years. They are not getting this grant, because I know the people from OU who's actually trying to get this grant, but is not getting it because we are doing something better here. Again, we are not, Department of Energy also use their database. They are actually, Department of Energy is used very much known, everybody knows about their database. How they collect the data and show to the public. So this is very transparent project. You can even go and search Industrial Assessment Center and find the data. You will see how much money we save directly on that. Second side of it, like we also find out what is the CO2 emission, how much related CO2 emission savings we have. We also done reduction of like 1.95 million metric tons of savings here as well. Again, as I said, we are in idea business. We told them around $320 million of ideas. Out of that, around 50% of the idea is actually implemented. That means $150 million is actually saved in the industries. So that's the money from the company side of it. But however, if the student side of it, we so far trained 224 students. So 224 students who has this energy knowledge, they work in industry with energy engineering background, and they are big shots now. I know some of these alumni who works for this center, they are big shots now. There are also certificates given to the students of excellent achievements. So it's not every single student who work for the center get the certificate. You have to be merit-based review. And then out of that 224, 82 students actually got that certificate as well. And some of the industries who hire, they say, do you have any experience for ISCs? The second qualification is like, do you have ISC certificate? And that basically brings from the Department of Energy, and these many years of the push from the Department of Energy to get that particular merit side. This is not a one-man show. We partner with so many companies, so many people, especially the utility companies like PSO, OG&E, some other manufacturing groups like Oklahoma Manufacturing Alliance, AWE Oklahoma. There are lots of people come along with you. It's not just you do everything. I think it's a partnership and it's a real teamwork where all of these people come together and create a program which is basically delivers savings. Sometimes the utility companies also work with us, create rebates. For example, the LED lights you put, they will pay you 30% or 45% of cost of the lamp. They will give you the rebate. So they give you a real check. It's not created directly by the PSO, but our partnership says that if you motivate somebody to do something, you will see energy saving side of it. So the PSO company, I'm just giving example, maybe serve more clients with the same pot of energy they have, and they can use lesser money or lesser energy to make that production as happen. So again, I have to stress my partnership. I think it's not also a one-day job. I think you have to constantly meeting with them, creating some kind of a consortium, like going there, do some workshops, maybe looking at the energy policies and everything, and creating a nice nexus. So I think it's like a best on the trust. And I'm very proud that last 3-4 years I've spent, now I'm seeing the output of it, and that's basically helping us to get more and more clients. We generally serve 25 clients a year. In COVID time, it was very hard to even get 25 people. But with this partnership, I had a queue of 50 people in my list. So I have to choose which company I need to go. I purposely find, even the DOE actually asks us to serve the client which is more needy. So we actually carefully selecting the client to serve them and then get the energy saving side of it. Another thing is like we are the first ISCs. As I said earlier, we have 32 ISCs throughout US, right? However, we are the first ISC who reached 1,000 assessment mark. It was like a big event. You see from this picture, like we have people from VP of Research came. We had a nice reception. People from Washington, D.C. and Department of Energy actually came to OSU, and we did audit at ISCO as a 1,000 audit. I purposely choose Stillwater so that we don't have to travel much. But we created that event to show also some administrator like what is that audit means to you? What is actually audit take care of it? So some of these people, some of the administrators stay with us and see how the energy audits is going on. And it's actually really nice, satisfying from them, their side as well. Now, as I said earlier, we have $321 million savings, right? So if you compare that, say the dollar money we got from the federal fund is very small compared to the savings we give them back, right? So this is a very successful program. That's where the workforce development and the economical development numbers match. You will see this is basically the program pays itself. You don't have to, most of the grants where you get the federal money, the output is not that much. However, we are more efficient in manner to use the federal funding as well. We saved more than what we actually receive from the federal government. So we are proud of showing this slide in that sense. Other side, as I said earlier, this is a small and medium-sized manufacturing companies. Anybody who make manufacturing. The manufacturing may be like manufacturing of a jam or meat production, meat plant, maybe you can say a paper mill, maybe you can say arms, maybe you can say tubes, anything in the manufacturing sector can be used these resources. So I'm asking the community to, if you can help from us, please feel free to contact us and we provide you a better service on that. It's 100% free of cost charges. If you go and ask outside consultant based on your size of the plant, it may be $5,000 to $15,000 per audit. We give you that much of a service free of cost. Sometimes this consultant also shake hand with the third party, so they may have a little bit biased kind of a recommendation because they are doing double dipping, not getting money from you, but they're also getting money from the service provider like HVAC or lighting people. However, from us, it's free of cost and unbiased. We don't pay attention to any other side of it. So it's very good. Students actually is a main winner here. They obtain introduction to latest technology, energy consumption and energy efficiency, and then on the side lab to apply that side of it. So basically student receives hands-on training and experience in energy engineering, and I'm really proud about my students who actually get hired before even they graduate. So I know bunch of example last 2-3 years, like my students are like, I have emails telling me like, if you have a student working for center, can you send me a resume? Who is graduating, who is like available to work for us? And that basically benefit because of all this nexus we created. One thing is like energy saving, I think you heard that name more than 100 times, but energy saving is not that easy sometimes. You have to see in a different angle. You may see maybe productivity improvement side of it, maybe supply chain side of it, maybe some other way of figuring out, maybe the energy management can help you, maybe energy planning can help you to actually get the efficiency out of it. As I said earlier, we cover all the manufacturing sector, anything related to that. I think there are some pictures here. You will say some roll milling, some kind of a hot mills there, some automobile manufacturing companies, anything in that sense. Now, maybe some of you guys have a question like how I can get qualified for this. However, the DOE, if I'm talking about just Industrial Assessment Center, the Department of Energy set some criterias. You have to match with this some of these criterias, then only you are qualified for the free audit. So one of the criteria is like you have to have a manufacturing code, and in industries basically they call standard industrial classification SIC code. You have to be within 20 to 39, and generally this 20 to 39 covers maybe millions different kind of a manufacturing. They have a code associated with that. So 21, 20, 25, that number 20 can go 5 digit, 6 digit based on the different manufacturing. Second qualification is energy cost. So your annual energy cost should be more than $100,000. Then only this particular grant can help you with. And then other things are like annual gross, more than $100 million is not qualified, limited time, and like nobody in the company actually has energy engineering or energy engineers working for your company, then you don't need my help because you already have somebody taken care of that. Recently, we also had some push from the Department of Energy related to water and wastewater. It's called a SWIFT accelerator. So nowadays, we also do audits on water and wastewater. I think I visited more than 15 audits on municipal water and wastewater treatment plant around that. I think City of Perkins is one of the examples. City of Stillwater is another example where we go and help them to do the energy consumption as well. Other side of it is the USDA. The good thing about USDA is like you have to, there's only one criteria that you have to be in a rural area. If you are in a rural area, you don't need any other requirement. Your manufacturing company is automatically qualified for you. Any in this area, I think the small rural business, this business can be anything. However, the USGA help, or maybe USGA push us to see if there is anything related to agriculture. If you are making a sack which is used by agriculture companies, yes, that is qualified. Maybe you are making a jam that's related to agriculture, then it's basically qualify you. So is open qualification. So if you have anything in that sense, we can help you to do the audits in that sense. I'm very helpful for USDA to come up and giving us the funding to do this kind of a job. One more thing is like I was surprised seeing the Stillwater is also rural. We feel like, I think the student population is large, so we may feel like it's not rural, it's a city, but real is qualification. If you go to the website in this particular link, you will figure it out that yes, Stillwater is rural. So we saw many clients in Stillwater in that particular program as well. I think last year, even with the COVID, we saw 15 plus clients in this particular program. So 25 on this, 15 here, altogether 40 clients we served in the last year, even though the COVID was there. I'm going a little bit on the audit process, but again, this is not important until you really want to do audit. But I'm just saying that this is a process of maybe like 6 months or a year. Initially, we start talking with them if somebody is interested, some phone calls, some emails, sometimes Zoom meeting nowadays is very popular. Find out is there any common link, is a frequency match. Once that frequency match, basically we can start looking at collecting more data. We're taking more billing information for all 12 months. Once that is done, we schedule the plant visit. We create our team. As I said earlier, is a crew going there, like 6 to 10 people sometime. And we visit the plant with all the safety and other regulations, PPE requirements. After that, we collect the data in the plant visit, and then we create a report, which is after the 60 days of my plant visit. Once that report is done, we discuss. Sometimes we also present our findings. Sometimes people from the meetings, we create a Zoom meeting, and then people from the company sometimes discuss why we said this and why we not said that. Sometimes we also provide some quick, like a closing meeting kind of a things on a plant visit. At the end of the day, we say, okay, maybe this 5 or 6 looks feasible, but the report will actually, it gives you actual numbers there, and it make more sense at that point. After the report, we call generally a year on, like within a year, we call them and figure it out how many you actually implemented, how many recommendation is actually implemented. That actually brings us the idea saying, is our recommendation make sense? Is there anything which is maybe missing here? Is also learning sometime from the client. Sometimes client also says, wow, your idea was awesome. We apply it very next month and we start earning the savings in that sense as well. So we put this information again back to the DOE database. So anybody can even go and check how many recommendation we made, how many of them actually implemented, and how much dollar or the energy savings associated with that. We cover all the 5 categories like energy saving, water saving, waste saving, productivity, or any greenhouse emission reduction. So it's a big, huge. I think the other thing here is a free service, 60 days report, follow-up action, and the things is highlighted in blue is everything is confidentially, because we are asking so much of a data there. Sometimes this billing information is we call as like a diagnostic data, like like the analogy of that is a blood report. Like you go to the doctor will say, okay, I don't able to find what's going on, let's do the blood report. And then you find a blood report, and based on that, doctor will say, okay, this is wrong, you do this and you're taken care of. The same way, the billing information tells us lots about tariff, what rates you are charged, maybe like something anomaly, like maybe you have a 15 minutes of data and you change the data with that reason, maybe that's also applied there. Now, how we measure success here? I think so far I saw student side of it, I saw research side of it, how the companies are get benefited, but how this basically create a good nexus or good program where it is actually a win-win for all the people. So if you see here is basically industry, student, and faculty triangle, and the ISC program is basically the overlap of all of things. Sometimes the partnership with faculty and students are basically helping, first of all, getting the curriculum done and the objective of the energy savings and other stuff. So basically the college related issues are solved here. Then faculty actually audit the plant, taking the students there. Both of them has a different objective. Obviously the main idea is ISC savings, but other side of it, like students get more hands-on experience, what is actually the industries are using it, how we can apply their knowledge there. So students get real life experience while they are as a student. Second way, the faculty, when they visit, yes, they are helping student or mentoring student to get that knowledge, but at the same time, faculty can also be get knowledgeable of knowing what is going on currently, what is the industry is actually going on. Maybe whatever the gap from the textbook to the real life, actually faculty get that things from the plant itself. Second thing, sometimes the research project. Moreover, this project is applied science, but this is where the beauty comes. When you go real visit a plant and you're looking at the productivity problems or energy problems, you showing them a couple of ideas. Sometimes this idea leads to the more fundamental research, more ideas where maybe the faculty itself may not be able to handle everything. Maybe he partner with other faculties, finding out a unique solution. And sometimes this data helpful for them to write for a bigger grant or bigger federal money, where you actually see there is a case where the industries are suffering and you are basically you're writing a grant showing that ideas that this can help. Sometimes is a very good winning position on that sense. I have a couple of grants basically comes ideas from this kind of audits. And now I have a solution for that. Sometimes the solution can be an entrepreneur side of it, where student can lead that ideas into products, sometimes companies, and then the student basically not only working for any company, they are working for themselves, creating that company and provide a solution for similar companies who are suffering that. So it's basically a very nice way of looking at it. Now, for the federal government point of view, why they are interested in giving this? So basically the federal government giving the resources to the university. Now the university comes back to the faculty hire students, and the student get knowledgeable and then consumed by the industries. Basically that create a workforce solution for them. Now the other side of it is the manufacturing, and the faculty companies get more funding. So now these ideas, even the federal government get ideas from here, and then actually they come up with RFEs with that kind of a topics where other companies or other manufacturing companies partner with the university faculties and write that grant, like OCAS or maybe some other grants where you need partnership with the manufacturer. Sometimes is a cost share also required, so you have to write a grant with the manufacturing companies and go forward. Some of this SBIR or STTR grant, kind of a grant, which also need industrial manufacturing kind of a partnership, where they basically that comes from this particular grant. So energy assessment is one of the way of connecting the manufacturer, but the bigger perspective is to get that projects going on. So students get a service learning from this, and that's where the federal government is looking at. Every single 5 years, I think I saw we create a report which goes back to DOE, and that is the metrics is basically how many students you recruit, how many students got work in alumni as work in industries. They also contact our alumni and figure it out how the market growth going on. Overall, I will say is very successful program and has shown a number, is not a projecting out, right? We have data from last 4 years which already show we already achieved the success, and they are making some adjustment here and there to go further for next 5 years. The newer option here is the carbon footprint, environmental related side of the ISC. So we are actually told for these next 5 years is to add how to reduce the carbon footprint, how the carbon capture technology can be used as energy saving opportunities there. So it's a really huge success, and I'm really proud that I'm participating in this and my students are participating in this. And I think maybe from 5 years and onward, we'll see and gauge ourselves that how we actually help the industries in that sense. This slide is just showing a timeline. As I said, is 1979. I'm not the first people who get this idea. I came along with this program when I joined OSU 2015-16, and then I participated. Then I got opportunity as assistant director, and then I become a director in 2018. And that's how I started learning out. And every single person has a different ideas. But the person who started is named Dr. Wayne Turner. He's the godfather of energy efficiency. Maybe you may not know him right now, but if you go and search a book on a Google saying what is energy efficiency, the very first book comes as a search is from the Wayne Turner. He was industrial engineering faculty, and he started this. He started this even before the Department of Energy is actually invented. So before that is a different name. Then based on these ideas, they created some other names, and then the Department of Energy is formed in 1982. And then from there onward, actually, they using the OSU ISC is getting grant from DOE to apply this. So it's very historical. And when I participated with OSU first time, I feel like it's a really big shoes to fit in, to actually get what their guys are invented in 1980, right? It's basically a different technology that time. Maybe we are telling them to change from regular incandescent lamp to CFL lamp, right? Now we are saying about LEDs. So it's a huge change in that sense. Later on, this leadership goes to Dr. Kolarik. He was like joined this department as a second director. He's also IEM faculty, and then I got the opportunity to work for this from 2017 under Dr. Kolarik, and then get some training, and then I'm leading this grant from 2017 onward. And we recently got in 2022 a new grant for 2022 to 2026. So hopefully I will try my best to fit what is basically the footprint my previous director put in that sense. This is a database. If you go online, you will see some of this stuff. So that's 312 what I saw is a real number there. Now I'm talking a little bit about students' benefits. It's basically the hands-on training. You need to know about diagnostic, how to collect the data and put some analysis on the data. Nowadays the big data analysis, and get some all analytics to going on, gives them some signature, some trend, and tells, okay, that's basically looks like you have this problem, like diagnostic a headache like that. Then they will have an opportunity to conduct research, and they write papers, publications. I think some of my students did publication in the past is more over applied science, like how you do this to do that, that kind of a thing, rather than more fundamental. But still, they publish the paper, they present their paper, and then even go to trade shows to show this side to the other world. This is real life. I see a real client in front of me. And when I say something, I don't just say something, right? I'm not posting on a Facebook something. When I say or commit somebody, I have to show them. And that's where the real commitment comes. And that's where the student gets serious when they say something. And that basically the idea to develop some of the soft skills, which is not any single course will teach you, how to communicate, how to tell something, and how to present your data sometime. So student gets that real life exposure to deal with the real people, and get the experience as if like you are actually working in the plant, and you are actually reporting to the plant manager and saying, okay, this is energy savings. That real life experience they get in as a student, and that's the reason there is a rush to hire our students in the industry. Second side of it is basically the interaction, the plant visits and staff. They and the vendors who actually apply all of these machines is very much nice way of communicating and getting the expertise out of it. So lots of skill sets. I saw the students turning from stone to gold within that 2-3 years of experience working on the ISC, because now they are more valuable. The direct experience of years implementation, so they actually know the real dollar value, and when they call and figure it out is implemented, how much energy saving is actually made, they actually see that dollar saving. The very much beauty about this DOE program or the database is like every single student has a tag saying how many dollars you saved so far. So if you saw through the profile, you will say that some students saved almost $1 million, maybe some students saved $100,000, whatever it is. They said clearly on the website of the database. That's also basically one of the items my students put in a resume and put that link saying, just see here, I saved this much industries, I served this many peoples, and I saved this many dollars. And this is like a really, really proud moment for my students. And I see it from their eyes like, yes, they are making efforts, challenging that real life. Reality, like even saving $1 is not that easy. So don't feel that way, that is, oh, okay, we just go and we find some spot and collect that and you do the energy saving. It's not that easy. It's not the low-hanging fruit in that sense. So students put lots of efforts, like they put like hawk eyes to figure it out what's going on, how to do that, create some strategy on the spot. We only save like 6 to 7 hours in the plant. I'm not including lunchtime here, but like 6 to 7 hours you have real life. So you are in a time crunch and you have to provide a solution at the end of the day saying this is the opportunity you have. And on the same time, you have to collect the data so that you calculate some scientific calculation. You need to have that input there. So you are on the side, you have to do that things on the spot. So the student has that kind of things. So they also know the time management, they also know the program, the project management skills and the soft skills, other side of it. And that all brings together a really good things. As I said earlier, the main winner here is the student. the work in a consulting office and other side of the environment, they also learn how even the undergraduate student I have, which saved more than $100,000. So sometimes we jokes around. They say like your educational cost is saved by some companies already because you are that much valuable, right? So that's one of the thing. Second thing is they have obtained a professional licenses and the certification. As I said earlier, DOE provide them a certificate. That's also really nice. Sometimes they have experience working with consulting organization, utilization companies, utility companies, and ESCOs. Energy training. So 5-10 students every year get hired and get trained. So it's a big winning side of it, the students. As I said earlier, we have 227 students, and this is a website you can even go and check the names. So it's not just sake of saying I'm saying that, but it's basically a database showing these numbers there. They also get the certificate like this. I think this is one of my students got the certificate, and is basically 8 core skill set you have to get the energy certificate. Basically, you have to have ability to understand the recommendation identification, report writing, how to do the calculation, client interaction, analysis, conceptual assessment, recommendation, leadership role. So students also take leadership. Sometime we rotate that position as a lead student. On the side, one guy is basically a supervisor of all students, and they manage that project of each client. So they are actually learning that soft skill of leadership while as a student. So that's really a valuable item on that. Sometimes they have 4.0 GPA, but I don't believe on 4.0 GPA in that sense, because not always the high GPA will have a value. You also need experience around that, and that's if you have a 4.0 GPA with this experience, I think you are a gold, and nobody will refuse to hire you. Understanding of other energy management systems and other stuff. So basically, we have 67 students so far who had this, and they are working in the industries and they know how valuable that certificate is. Some of the old alumni I just want to mention so that you know that this program created very valuable high profile people. Like you will see Wayne Turner, obviously, who started this program. They served in a prestigious leadership roles. So they are basically 2018, every single student here, every single person here was a student for our ISC in the past. They actually learn this knowledge while they are working as an OSU degree, working for the center, and now they are big shots. If you see Eric Woodward is actually got even the Hall of Fame award in that sense as well. So they are like very much big leader. I think Stephen Parkers is basically even the editor-in-chief in one of the journal. So one of the things actually they are international awards as well, journal editors as well. So I'm very proud that this center produced so many things in the past, which is very valuable to us. DOE certificates also, there is like a alumni award or the student award. So they only choose few students throughout this study to centers every year. So in 2019 we got 2 girls. This girl actually graduated long time back, 2012, but she was working on industry, energy engineering side of it, and then she actually has a valuable contribution to the community, and they're recognized by DOE people and they give that award to them. So, and then we had one graduate student, Pragya, which she is basically working as a MS in industrial engineering department, but she also did lots of other tasks associated with ISC, and they recognized by DOE and got a student award in that sense. Some of my students also work in energy related field. I think 3 of my students, I think last week only, they told me that they are actually got internship in Tesla. So they are going there to work for Tesla for energy assessment, energy or supply chain related side. 2020 also we got one of the alumni award. Patrick Sick was a PhD student in industrial engineering, and he did lots of good job. Actually, he is now a director of sustainability service at REM in Hot Spring, Arkansas. So that's another thing which we like to highlight here. If you see, here is the trend how our students get hired. Now I want to go back and show you some funny slides. Funny slide means like how we saw a plant and how we see some of the things. So very first thing is basically most of the companies, they are not aware of it, like where the energy is actually get wasted. So we are just an eye opener to them. We are just pointing out saying, You may consider that is not energy saving, but there is opportunity there. Right, so I'm just showing some slide, and it's very easy to prove the price tag on it. So example, you go to any shopping and you see a shirt, maybe shirt is $10, but if there is a shirt was $1,000, you will pay attention to and see that shirt saying one more time like why it's $1,000. So sometimes the price tag has lots of philosophical side. Energy saving is more over philosophical. It's like a practices you are doing, right? So example, I'm very much sure like in houses, maybe a husband always forgot to turn off the light, or maybe a kid always keep the light on. Like there are always the things we're looking at it. You know there is energy vested, but people had that bad habit, and it's very bad to solve that problem as well. So it's not easy task. So one of the things what we do is basically we go and show them, okay, you have one lamp on in a bright day, 110 Fahrenheit, and still the lamp is on. What's going on? I think you may saw this many places as well. Like a Walmart, you will say in the middle of the day, all the parking lots light is on. Like I don't know why, what's happened, but it's on. And sometimes we just like wondering me like maybe people are not paying attention, but even a lamp on is cost you so much money, right? So $58 a year if this lamp is on a daytime. Now $58 is not much, but if you have not only one lamp but you have 50 lamps, then it's multiplying, right? Sometimes we saw in Oklahoma is like very much nice weather, sometimes is bad weather, we have a hail damage, and some of these units are on the roof and people don't pay attention and go on the roof and check. Sometimes you see is like so many damage on the condenser coils, the radiator side of it, and it will cost you a lot. So basically that's also the slide showing that. Some of the slides where you can even see many plants you go, this is very common. They're supposed to have some kind of a chicken fence kind of a guard which protect, but it's gone. And somebody maybe open it, doing something and then forget to put it back because they don't feel that that's important piece there, right? It's already there, no heat will come or no cool will come. So they forgot about it, and that basically adds more values on that. Other side is basically the leakage problem. Sometimes we see the leakage, we don't see that is leaking too much, so you don't pay attention. And that's where the energy saving comes. Some people are saying that they are green. They are growing the plants around the condenser side of it, right? And that's bad. Just having this plant will reduce the capacity of a heat exchange because this unit actually exhausts that all heat from your house or from the plant. But if you have this kind of a situation, then you are only open for two sides. All the other two sides are blocked by something. Sometimes they even put some furniture there. Sometimes like I see totally blocked, and that's not a good choice, right? Maybe just example of this particular unit, you will save $600 a year just cutting down that plants or not growing any plants behind that. Like it's not necessary. Similar example is basically like this. You will see people are not even paying any attention and put the fence around this. Only the one side is effective here. So just seeing that your 75% energy is just blocked there. So it's really bad. Some plants like they don't even follow any rules or any codes. I think when you ask for the contractor, they know the rules behind how far you have the distance. But this is a classical example. On the side we saw this condenser unit is very close to the wall, supposed to be like at least 2 feet distance while you install. So even the installation people don't know that, and nobody even checked. Like for example, this unit they just installed the same week we went. It's a brand new unit, but they didn't install it properly. So it's not always that my unit is old and that's why it's not efficient, but it's the way you mounted is also bad. Sometimes the education is missing there. I think the people who are HVAC side of it, they don't even know. Sometimes they are just like putting 4 bolts and connect the wire and go off. They don't pay attention to other side of it. This is a very classical example. The center picture I'm talking about is, first of all, the unit itself is within the plant. As example, we are in library right now and somebody installed here in between the room, this whole room is air conditioned, right? So one way you are putting money to cool down, and other way you are actually throwing the heat. So it's a constant battle to maintain the temperature here, right? And it will never come to the conclusion because you are throwing that heat. Second problem is like this operator who's next to this machine or next to this unit is like he's fitting so much of heat. So he feel like it's so much heat coming, let me block that. So he put this blue I think it's kind of a plasticky or kind of a woody structure. He just put all four sides so that he doesn't have to face this hot air from there. Just see that how inefficient is this. One of the example which is basically, we went to one feed mill, animal feed. They make some animal feed for different animals, I will say. There was one boiler there, and they have some pipings. So one of the boiler is basically here. If you see here, this coming out, the steam is coming out. They're seeing it from last 5 years. People in the plant, they're saying, yeah, we saw that. And I said, like, you don't see any unusual? No, we are seeing that 5 years is there. I don't see any danger or anything like that. I don't worry. I'm not worried about it. And then we asked the plant manager or other people, they say, yes, it used to be 10 years back, there was some system connected here, but then it was not working, so we dismantle, we throw everything, and just leave this pipe as it is. We thought is okay. We calculated the price is a $20,000 cost. You are paying that much money to the boiler to run this system, and that is actually goes to your plant. They have lots of rejection as well, but I'm not talking about rejection. Just like this pipe is just going out, it's supposed to be blocked, or sometime you just like there is a two pipes. It's supposed to be go in and take a U-turn and then going back to the plant. They totally forgot about this 5 years. So it's basically $20,000 times 5 years, $100,000 cost just using as is, right? So sometimes we do this kind of funny things in the plant and tell them. One of the another example here is like one of the company, we have IR camera to monitor this, so we saw most of the things are more insulated, but some of these joints or the valves is not insulated, and they have a more than 40% of rejection of the chemical process they are making. So we saw this and we told them, like, because of that valve, the right amount of liquid is not going. They are actually making some kind of a fiber product, so they have lots of rejection related to that. So not only the energy saving is there, but is also maybe some concept where the energy consumption can be saved through some other program as well. Some of the example like forklift, how to charge the forklifts, the compressed air, the air leaks is a very big problem in many plants. One CFM is around 13 cents per hour. So that much money you are actually spending on it. Sometimes the air pressure, they don't know what is the right pressure to use. Sometimes some methods to save energy for a space heating in a winter time, economizers, some VFDs. This is all different method. Again, I'm just showing some slide which is helpful, but we have list of 1,000 different recommendations in a library to save them. Right? So our reports basically can not only give the ideas, but also educate the client. Even the client is not engineering field, we explain them all the education side of it. We also give them some kind of a managerial kind of a decision making, like a payback period. So we tell them, okay, this is low hanging, this is like really 5 years period of a payback and how you use that. We also give them ideas of where the energy goes. You only see a one bill, right? So we give them energy balance curve so that you can see which % of energy goes where. So you may strategically put more time on some of this side, right? So in conclusion, I will say this Industrial Assessment Center is integral part of OSU, especially the OSU NM, I will say, is trained lots of students. We go around 200,000 square feet miles around our territory many times, and our mission is very much aligned with the founding chapter of OSU in terms of land grant university. And ISC program is a shining example of a government funded service learning initiatives that should be adopted by government worldwide and then train the next generation engineering student and environmental engineers. So with that, I will like to thanks Department of Energy first of all, and my partners, College of Engineering, to provide me a support and resources available to run this show nicely. So thank you so much. With that, I will conclude my presentation. Thank you.